Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy! Welcome back to more Splatoon! Last time, we played around using the bog standard splatter shot, or I guess from our perspective, because we began with the junior, it'd be the daddy version. Either way, there's multiple ways that it can be seen. This time, I hate this channel! We're gonna be going on through Octo Valley once more, and continuing on with our quest. Since we have a bunch of fish eggs, I suppose we could upgrade our gear once more. I think I'm just gonna buy Seekers. They're bombs that cruise along the ground, hemming in on foes. We can swim behind them. I figure I might as well just get another attack added to our arsenal before upgrading anything else. I'm sorry, fish eggs, but don't be too sad. Your unborn children will make fine explosives. Boom! Very morbid time for that effect to be there. I have 100. You know what? I don't need a bigger ink tank now. I think I'll just hang on to the 100 and upgrade my gun next time I get a chance. I think that'd probably be the smartest course of action. It's what I prefer doing. Uncovering the next lair? Here we go. I, again, didn't get to see what it said. I'm just way too hasty for my own good. It'll come up in a second, though. We have Rise of the Octocopters. Leak to victory. I guess the stuff we're shooting is yellow, so it would be leak to victory. But anyway. Got a beautiful sunset-y type area ahead of us. Octo Valley is so pretty. You kind of got like these monitors that are making up the sky that are all interconnected. You have some rock formations down there. Some of them even look like tentacles. It's just all around really pretty. Splatoon might not be the most hyper-realistic 1080p, high-definition bloom effects out the ass kind of game out there, but it looks nice. The graphics do what they need to. It might not be ultra realistic though, but the style looks good for what it is. It just in general looks very nice. And this is a great example of that. Case in point, floating tentacle rocks. Being a little bit diligent with what I'm doing here, because I don't actually know where the sunken scroll is in the stage. I knew where the last one was. I just got very distracted getting angry about squeegees, but I think anyone who's played can definitely more than understand why I would be getting like that. Nothing here, nothing here. Okay, get out of the way, you. Take out that octocopter. Heave-ho! He just loves saying that, doesn't he? Get ourselves some armor, and I thought I found it there for a second. Those are well-hidden fish eggs, and I guess in other platformers it'd be like that, but this is not any other platformer. That's the thing, Splatoon, with it only having one collectible per stage, and the rest just all being fish eggs, they do a dang good job hiding these things. Like, I follow the general rules that I follow when playing Mario games and looking for the collectibles in those, and I still don't find them from time to time. There are ones that I got stumped on and took me quite a while to find. I remember doing multiple playthroughs some of these stages. If you want to get 100% and you're not totally playing along with everything that I'm doing, then yeah, you will be here for a while. From that power-up, we got an Inkzuka. Yeah, and a can of tuna, no less. And just like in multiplayer, you can use them just as you would there. Very destructive. They can go over walls. They can attack enemies from a great distance. They're all around very helpful. If you were to finish a stage without using an Inkzuka, you would get some bonus fish eggs just as you would for still hanging onto your armor for all that time. So if you don't need to use it, then don't. Go ahead and... Oh, did I just... Okay, no, I thought this platform was what I was looking for. I was getting so paranoid. I'm thinking that everything is going to be the collectible. If that box up there is the collectible, I'm going to be ashamed of myself for not knowing... As I was saying, here is the sunken scroll for this stage. Isn't that a great, well-hidden location that you wouldn't know from following the typical rules of Mario platformers? Yeah, I thought so. Gosh, I am an idiot at times. Nothing down there, just a little crevice for you to fall down and have to climb back up out of if you miss the jump. Pretty simple. At least we can take it kind of fast now. Moving platform side to side. We are just rolling in eggs. Make of that what you will. Once again, I just seem to be digging myself holes with things I'm saying. Sink me, you did it! Well, I mean, since you say so. These grind rails are cool. I like how you just kind of meld into them, into your color of ink, and you activate them by blowing on it. There she blows Zapfish dead ahead. Oh, man, for an old dude, you have very good eyesight. You saw it even before I did. Now, I picked up another bit of armor. The way that it depicts you having multiple armor at a time is brilliant. I have a fishing pole on my shoulder. There's got to be something morbid about that you could see in that, though, but just like, I'm wearing a fishing pole as armor. Those are words I never thought I'd say. Could use the Inkzuka to ink this up instantly, and it just swimmed up it really fast, and I'm sure it's something that a speedrunner would do, but I ain't one of them speedrunning types. Get our Zapfish, get our bonus bonus eggs. Armor, Inkzuka, did well. That was over pretty quick. That was a lot of fun, actually. This seems to be an Octarian assault vehicle, But it doesn't appear to have an engine. The big question then, how does it move? It's frighteningly clear that the source of Octarian power lies outside the realm of established science. We did hear that there was a UFO that crash landed in Inkopolis the night before the Zapfish went missing, so there's only one possible explanation. The Octarians are aliens! You know, I kind of get it now. All those conspiracy theorists always say that it's so obvious and the truth's right in front of you. It kind of is in this case. Overall, kind of a bland-looking one, though. But upon clearing that stage, we have a bit of a special-looking kettle. The Zapfish's power has opened up the boss kettle. Yeah, we're almost done with World 1. We're going to be saving the boss for later. For now, I want to go back to Inkopolis Plaza. And while we're here, I want to make a habit of talking to Judd every time before we go in to do anything in the main lobby, just because he has some good tips for you, and he's just all around a fun guy to talk to. Meow. Don't forget to check out the weapon shop after you level up. I hear they have some pretty awesome, possum weapons. He's making so many puns per second, I can't keep up with his PPS rate. Some of the European viewers out there have been telling me that he's really boring and doesn't make puns in their version. They're jealous of our text, so yeah. I am going to your post just so I can Oh, can't No, I have turned to the dark side. I did not want to I thought you could in this game. I know it differs from game to game, but okay, yeah. That's a thought that I can get behind. I'll that. Okay. Anyway, how about now we get into the weapon of the day, the one that you unlock at level 3. It's an entirely new weapon class. Our weapon of the day is something I am sure many people wanted me to get to. Our first roller, and the basic one that all the other rollers get compared to, the Splat Roller. These are meant for inking a lot of turf quickly. It has 2 methods of regular attacking. Flinging ink as a ranged attack, and running over enemies without any range to speak of. You can get a little bit of extra range out of a roller if you jump out of your ink with a little bit of momentum at the cost of some accuracy. You'll see expert players doing this a lot as they have that sweet spot nailed down, and it can get very annoying. While the Splat Roller actually has pretty decent range, comparable to the regular splatter shot, its key weakness in battle is its slow firing rate. A fling has to hit dead center, or it won't do over 100 damage to get that instant kill. If it's a swing and a miss, you're unlikely to get a second chance. Maps that require wall climbing to get around are difficult for this set. There's multiple ways to play a Splat Roller. You can be stealthy, or as support for another player, but one thing it rings true no matter how you play it. Try not to go alone near more than one enemy. Unless you've been very, very stealthy, the slow rate of attack is unlikely to give enough time to beat multiple targets unless you are very practiced. Its special depletion is light. Sub as the Suction Bomb can be used as ways to avoid direct combat or for flushing someone out, of course. And its special is something new, the Killer Whale. This is Splatoon's Mega Killer Laser of Death. It travels through walls, has infinite range. Yeah, seriously, travels the entire map no matter how big it is. And it wrecks anyone in its path with little to no hope of survival. However, it doesn't cover any turf. Unless, of course, we're counting the squid guts of anyone unfortunate enough to run into it. When activated, it must be aimed before it will fire, and even then, firing it has a little bit of a delay. The process of activating, aiming, and firing takes about 2 seconds at minimum before there's any damage done. Use it early and not when someone is rushing toward you. It's best to take out snipers from a great distance, on pathways the enemy has to go through in order to accomplish their goal, or just on narrow pathways that'll help push the objective of the mode. So, don't be sad if it doesn't score a kill, or don't wail. Even if it doesn't end up splatting enemies due to its long startup, it can be useful in driving them away or creating an opening for your team. As long as you've pushed the objective, that can be important too. As for the wrong ways to use it, you can accidentally point it at the ground and waste it. I might have done this before. Might. In conclusion for this set, I will say that between the roller flick killing in one hit, the suction bomb having a delayed explosion, and the killer whale, well, being the killer whale, this set lets you be a really awful dick to anyone trying to use super jump on the other team. Anyway, during the equipment recommendations, I want to acknowledge the elephant in the room, or rather the elephant that is absent from the room. The fact that I'm not recommending run speed up, as I'm sure a lot of first timers would think naturally, you'd want run speed up to make your roll speed faster. Run speed up does not affect the roll on rollers, since that would cause one of its attacking moves to become much stronger. So if you choose to run it, pun was not intended, but now I'm happy that I did, be warned that it only affects strafing between flicks and not while you are rolling. As such, I don't recommend it much. Second, unlocked at level 7, another custom weapon that is very popular, Kraken Splat Roller. Only difference from the regular Splat Roller are in the sub and special, which starts us off with a very unique sub weapon, the Squid Beacon. This creates a one-use super jump point for the entire team. You can place a maximum of 3 of them at a time per player that has Squid Beacons. It's not truly one use, but I'm not really sure how else I can word it. The exact science of how it works is that it's destroyed once someone lands on it, but before it's destroyed, multiple people can jump to it at the same time. Squid Beacons don't reveal when a player is jumping to it like super jumping to a player does, so it has that advantage of being used over a player if you have the option. These can be massive time savers in fast-paced games and can help the team stay on key pressure points in the map. The beacons themselves are frail and can be destroyed by enemy attacks very easily, so place them near key points, but in spots that are not easily reached or shot at, like on top of a ledge or out of view from common camera angles. If you have beacons, take a beacon, leave a beacon. If you have beacons, lay down another one as soon as you use it yourself. I'm saying beacon a lot, I will try to knock that off. A responsibility the user has is inking the area around their beacons after laying them so that their teammates aren't screwed when jumping to it and can get to the action faster. A not immediately obvious use for them is bait. You can place one in an easily reached location on purpose, and since they're so easily destroyed, you might be able to plan ahead and sneak up on someone trying to destroy it thinking that it's an easy target. This is going to sound funny as it's even more of a long shot than the bait thing, but while they break very easily, they are technically a shield from at least one enemy shot before they go down. So you can technically hide behind one and get a little bit of extra time to do your roller flick. I know, it's weird. The Squid Beacon has one major distinct weakness other than having no direct combat use, other than that hilarious one-shot shield thing. It's visible on the enemy's gamepad map, meaning that they're capable of finding them as long as they're checking for them. Also, because of this, try not to clump multiple Squid Beacons too close together if there's an enemy with ink strikes. An ink strike is likely to strike clumps of Squid Beacons to easily remove them all from play in one fell swoop, and they're already looking at the gamepad to use their ink strike, so they're guaranteed to see what they are if they're going to be using their ink strike at all. While the beacon isn't an attacking move, it gives the roller users something to do when they can't fight or are swimming for a long period of time with nothing else to use their ink on. I've seen many games that were decided purely by a diligent Squid Beacon user, even if they weren't fighting so well. So, if you're not really the best at fighting out there, but you want to contribute in some other way, try out something with a Squid Beacon. You won't be disappointed. That was very long, and it's about to get even longer. I'm really just using a lot of innuendos in these bios. I didn't even mean to, I swear. That is because the special is the first time that we are seeing Kraken. This could be its own game, and I think the Amiibo developers knew this. It's an invincible squid form that lasts for 5 seconds and can easily swim over any hard surface or wall as if it were inked in your color, leaving a trail of ink behind it similar to an ink brush. It will move slowly on any surface that cannot be inked just as any normal squid form would. And if this is starting to sound like a bubbler because it's invincible, I'm sorry, but it doesn't copy to nearby teammates. Nice try. And also unlike a bubbler, you don't have your main weapon. Instead, jumping will perform a short-range instant kill move. It's a good fit here due to how quickly rollers are able to get specials and how rollers generally have a hard time with head-to-head combat. Whether it's activated just as you're about to die to make a getaway, to use a super jump for free, or just to fight back when pinned down, be ready to activate it at the perfect moment. There is nothing more frustrating than being that 1/2 second too late at clicking in that right stick. Us Splatoon veterans know this anguish, and we know it well. On a brighter note, let's talk weaknesses. I mean, I consider actual weaknesses of the attack a brighter note than just barely missing the timing. I don't know about you. It's invincible, yes, but just like the bubbler, it's affected by knockback from enemy shots. Some rapid-fire weapons will be able to keep a Kraken at bay and waste the special timer. The Kraken is also a squid form, so remember, it goes through grates, and if there is nothing below you on a grate, you will instantly die. It is possible to kill someone camping on a grate with it if super jump is activated in mid-jump above a grate, but it's still something you need to worry about. Lastly, it should not be used to give chase to an enemy squid retreating into their turf, because it is slower than a normal squid, and the ending animation when it wears off is very punishable. This is another reason why it might not be best to rush rapid-fire weapons head-on. Swim speed up does affect the Kraken, making it slightly faster, and special duration up should be considered for absolutely any Kraken weapon. Despite the flaws, the Kraken's Splat Roller's abilities work well due to how fast it can gain access to the Kraken, how many things the Kraken can be used for, and beginners often gravitate toward this because, let's face it, it's just a really fun ability that gives a room for air that you get all the time. And the third variant, Koro Splat Roller. Yeah, this is the Koro that you think it is. That magazine that exclusively reveals Pokemon news has its own roller. You know, that magazine that means nothing to the rest of the world because people just scan them for the internet to see, since it's the only way that anyone that doesn't live in Japan will ever see that news at all. Not only that, but their issues have leaked online a week early every month for the past 15 years, making those reveals completely trivial, even if you do live in Japan. It really makes you wonder how they haven't folded by 2016, but I guess that got negative pretty fast. Anyway, has the same spats. Wow. I really am just spitting on them here. Okay, no. Has the same stats, except for light special depletion. Its sub is the Splash Wall, a stationary wall that blocks enemy movement and ink, but doesn't affect your own team's movement and ink. In narrow hallways and in one-on-one fights, these can give a great edge, effectively halting enemy advancement. A risky alternative use for this is to throw a splash wall into an enemy's path while they're swimming. It does a respectable 60 base damage to any enemy that touches it, allowing for an easy one-shot finish after it's hit them. Also note, if a splash wall lands directly on someone's head, it's a one-hit KO. This thing is a guillotine. If you're curious, it does 500 damage on the big balloons in training mode. Yeah, it's that certain. The splash wall lasts roughly 7 seconds under normal circumstances, but it will deplete faster if an enemy is firing at it. The remaining time until it stops functioning can be viewed inside of its ink tube on the main pillar. Splash Wall is also one of the few moves in the game that have ink recovery lag. You'll be unable to begin recovering ink for about 1 second after throwing it. An important thing to remember when playing Splash Wall is that any enemy bomb that collides with it will instantly explode. It can even hit through the Splash Wall if you're standing too close. Also, don't think about putting a Splash Wall on the edge of a cliff hoping it'll run all the way down to the ground. I too was very disappointed upon trying this. As for how this works on a Splat Roller, this is a very unorthodox sub for what it is, and honestly, kind of a pretty bad first weapon to talk about what makes the Splash Wall good, but let's try. Unlike other weapons that use it to shoot from behind, the rate of fire and range of a Splat Roller doesn't make very good use of that, especially for more stealthy players that usually just attack away. It can play similar to a .52 gal by jumping and flinging from behind it to get good range out of it, but again, it's harder to aim. This is not a commonly played weapon at all, but I've seen 2 good uses for a Splash Wall on it. One is the tried and true throw it down and then get away, either by doing a super jump from behind it or just using it as cover so you can swim away quickly. The other is to think of it like an anti-Splash Wall. Instead of throwing it down in front of you and shooting from behind it using it as cover, throw it behind your target so they can't retreat and force them to take your roller flick for a one-hit kill. That can be very effective. It's better than you would think it is, and it's generally how I see good Korokoros play. Its special is the Inkzuka. It's a great special that gives the set a way of dealing with snipers or checking long hallways that would otherwise be dangerous for a roller to go through. Remember that you have unlimited ink during a special. The Splash Wall has excellent synergy with the Inkzuka, giving you cover anytime, anywhere to use your Inkzuka from behind. It allows it to be a lot more aggressive in addition to dealing with snipers. This set honestly isn't really all that special, but it does at least try something different. Not many rollers can say they have an easy way at fighting back at long range. And actually, I need to make a revision. As much as I was trying to be funny with that description of Koro magazine, this weapon itself was actually leaked a week early because it was revealed in Koro magazine. The only way this thing could be a more fitting representation of that company would be if the ink tank leaked before the match even began. Time to take a look at the map rotations, and I gotta be honest, I've been dreading this one. I think the roller is one of the most volatile weapon classes to being good or not, depending on what the current map rotation is. With the splatter shot, I wasn't nervous whatsoever, though, because, again, there's a splatter shot for every situation. Not so much with the splat roller. Okay, unveiling the stages. Port mackerel, okay. This stage has visibility for days. A charger would be totally money. Word. Man, they actually agreed on some. Ah! That's our first repeat? Are you? Of course it is. It's so expensive to park in these parking towers. Maybe that's why there aren't many cars here. I just realized. Of course it's friggin' Moray Towers. After I accidentally yabbed that Miiverse post. Of course it's Moray Towers. This is the equipment that I decided to go with. I'm looking awfully fashionable today. So far, all my get-ups have looked really ridiculous, and it's kind of a shame because there's some dang good fashion that you can see in Splatoon. I just haven't had a good chance to show it off because all my good equipment just looks so stupid together. Anyway, this is what I went with. There is a particular thing that I like to do using the Kraken splat roller on Moray Towers, and I do think it is one of the better rollers that can be used on that map, so that's why I've gone with that. Go figure that Moray Towers would be in my decision of which of the sets that I'm going to use. Wanted to have ink recovery up and special duration, or ink recovery up, well, that too, but special duration up, special charge up. Just in general, like having those abilities. They're very nice. You might see that I got a bit of a winning streak going on even though we haven't played any games yet. As much as I wish I could tell you that I am a powerful wizard of some sort, it's not the case. Every single match I have played today has been decided by a player disconnecting, and while I know that is just kind of a part of life, I didn't want an entire episode to just be that. I've had exactly one game out of I think 6 that I've played that wasn't decided by that, and that one was decided because somebody wasn't even trying. I don't mean that they were bad with the weapon or new to the game or anything like that. I mean, they never shot. They just ran around the map, never turned into a squid, never fired a bullet. Marie. Wow, she was in my good graces yesterday when she made some bad puns. Maybe she can be in my good graces again today. Just a tip, Marie. If you want to be in my good graces but still play Splatoon with me, if you're a good player, be on my team. If you're a sucky player, be on the other team. You see how that works? Okay, yeah. Anyway, I didn't want an entire episode to be that, so I thought it would be kind of a good idea if we just kept replaying until we had that, so maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we won't have connectivity issues, maybe we won't have people being jerks. There were some that were rage quits, but they were fairly early on in the match, so it wasn't one that could still be decided by normal means, and this is taking a while. Wow, maybe while we're waiting, I can direct your attention down to the gamepad because they're very thoughtful on this. They give you a bit of a game to play while you're waiting for other players. This is Squid Jump, just a very simple 8-bit game. You charge up your jumps, you can hop to higher platforms, you can directionally influence stuff. There is a screen wrap mechanic, so it's just kind of a fun little time passer. You have 3 lives, you pick up where you left off after the next game is played. It just automatically pauses once you find opponents. You do start over every time that you turn the game back on, though, so you can't just turn it back on and pick up where you left off. It is kind of a long game. I've only seen the end of it maybe once or twice, and it's in very long play sessions that I do. Let's see, we got Marie is on our team, and she's a wasabi splatter shot. That's good, and I don't know how to feel about that other team. There's some okay stuff in there. There's some not so okay stuff in there. I guess depending on which way you look at it, it means the same thing, because there's stuff in there that I like fighting, stuff I don't like fighting, stuff in there that's actually good to use, stuff in there I wouldn't really describe as good to use. So on Port Mackerel, you got a lot of long, narrow hallways. Is quick to ink if you got a roller of some kind. On top of that, there are areas that are difficult for enemies to reach. There's this caution stuff around it that doesn't let you climb all the way up the wall. So because of that, that ledge where I laid down my beacons is not easy to reach. That's one of the reasons why I want to play that. Let's get up on top of this forklift and, don't start with these. Don't like echolocators. Usually rollers rely on stealth to get their kills and just in general have to play really sneaky, and you kind of undermine my entire weapon class by doing that. Squished, ow. I like how whenever you get squished by a roller, it doesn't say that you were splatted by the roller, it instead says that you were squished by it. It's just kind of a fun little detail. Don't have anything else to use my ink on, I might as well do that. You can always super jump to your own squid beacons. It's always a good thing to remember if you need to get away very quickly, if you don't think that you can win a fight and you can just duck behind a corner for a little bit. This forklift does buy you a lot more time than you think it would, so it is good for that. In the meantime, I think I'm just going to try to get my Kraken built up, see if I can get that off. If I can do that, I could probably rush the other team pretty well. Get rid of that for you. There you go. Not really a whole lot for me to do. I don't want to, like, get too happy with just rolling around all over the place at the speed of sound. Didn't mean for that reference to happen when I was starting to say it, but hey. Echolocator should be wearing off pretty soon, and, well, no time like the present. Gotcha. Gotta be honest, I'm a bit more of a defensive player, and maps like Port Mackerel, they make me kind of nervous, just with all the corners and everything. I know that as a roller, I can ambush around corners and everything and just kind of place myself in areas that people are unlikely to check, but still, it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to play lane control and help out any way that I can. I'm trying not to roll too much. Let's see. Pretty clear there. I think I can advance forward. You? No. Well, on the bright side, we do 2 games for a reason, so there's always one more. Super jumping around beacon once again. Let's pick up where we left off. Gonna leave another one. Nothing else to use my ink on in that situation, so I might as well. I don't know. You got an ink strike off. Gonna try to cover that up before moving forward. Just trying to do that. I gotta move forward. I really do. Of course, as soon as I say it, he's got an ink strike. Out of the frying pan and into the boiling water, however the saying goes. I don't think that actual saying applies very applicably to what I'm doing right here, but the made-up version that I just did kind of does, so I'll go with that. Let's play aggressive. I'm probably going to die horribly. Maybe not. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. I think they got this. I think it's, yeah, they got more orange than our blue than we have blue in their orange. It's not going to be enough. There's our first loss, and I am praying that there is not going to be some disconnect on our team that decided that, where they don't even have any kills or deaths. Okay, good. I will take that. No, I mean it. I will take being the bottom contributor to our team before having yet another disconnect. I just wanted a fair game. Oh boy. Hopefully I can redeem myself a little bit on our Moray Towers game, but it's Moray Towers, so I don't think I will. Let's resume our squid jump right here. So yeah, it paused. You're just trying to reach the top. You are grabbing a zapfish at the goal, so it is the same general idea of the single player, just greatly simplified. You see how it works. Franchises, they kind of develop with time, and it's very nice of them to include the series roots in this game. I say it like we're in universe or something like that. I am just that big of a nerd. I'm sure I'm being very inefficient about this. I'm sure somebody out there has it down to a science and they jump the perfect height every time and they don't overshoot whatsoever and they can just like zoom up to the top very fast. Sure is taking a while. Every time I hit the record button, always takes so much longer to find opponents than it normally does. Maybe I'm just picking really on times. I'm not really sure. Got that. These guys are power-ups. You collect them and they let you bounce up a little bit higher. Kind of running out of things to say about an 8-bit squid just jumping around. Oh boy! Oh, that was clutch! As soon as I say it, I have that happen. Let's bounce off of you, and then use that to go over this way. Bounce off of you, wrap around. Yeah, there we go. There's the speedrunning tactics. I'm sure someone out there runs this game. Squid jump, not Splatoon. I know for a fact that people do run Splatoon. Up we go. Da-da-doo. Ice platforms. Okay, giving me new material to work with, literally. As you would expect, these are slippery. You want to land without momentum because you don't want to slide around too much. But then again, maybe you do want to slide around and make some certain jumps. I don't know. It's. Can we find opponents quickly, please? I swear if I beat this game before we find any opponents. I actually got almost halfway through the game in the time that took. Wow, and thank goodness it's Moray Towers next. I never thought I'd be saying that. Let's see what we got. Please have a sniper. No. Oh boy, a lot of short range stuff. Okay, they got a bit more long-range stuff than we do. I saw Jut Squelcher in there, but I'm not too torn up over this. I'm very happy that it's neither team having a sniper, just because we can avoid that for a little bit longer, but my inevitable Moray Towers-filled doom will arrive one of these days. Now, as much as I give Moray Towers flack for not really being a fun map to play if you're not a sniper yourself, I do have respect for it, if you can believe that. It's that these pathways are just the perfect width for rollers to fill in, so if you want to go around inking a lot of turf, it can be really good for that. There's also the fact that just in general, oh, okay, you're on our team, good. Thank you for playing support with me. It just in general it takes a lot of weapon classes into account. There are a lot of shots you can make as a sniper, and that is definitely the most prominent feature of this map, but it does take a lot of different weapon classes into account. It's not just weighted in snipers. I do think it's a very well-designed map, if not a little bit frustrating to play if you're not a sniper. Hey, eye out. You actually kept me at bay as a roller, even though I was using a Kraken. Whoa! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can't believe I survived that. Wow. So yeah, you saw right there what I like to do on this map. Maybe don't clump them so far together. That Jet Squelcher might be the set that has the Ink Strike on it, so maybe I shouldn't be clumping them that close together. But I like getting behind enemy lines, using the Kraken to do so. Either that or going with a teammate that's using a shooter weapon that can back me up really nicely. Getting behind those enemy lines and just putting down beacons in that area. It's not really a place that's commonly checked if people aren't checking the gamepad. It's not a place that a lot of people like to go out of their way to go to. If you ever need a quick getaway, you can just, well, get away to it, obviously. You can not die, please. Wow, this guy is really on the move. Hey! Boom. Tin. I guess maybe you went home in a tin after I got to you. That's bad. If they find my beacons before I can super jump to them, I might actually be in a little bit of trouble here. You know, this is a closer game than I thought it was. I thought they were pretty dang far pushed back. Not really the case. They are, but they have a lot of turf inked in R's. Wow. That's actually kind of bad. Please survive a little bit longer so I can get some squid beacons off. Just in general, oh boy, I'm so good. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of hope. We got 30 seconds to pull this off, and while things do get decided in the last 30 seconds, that philosophy does only go so far. I did get a lot done. I did do a lot of damage to them. I'm not really ashamed at my playing ability. Again, if you want to contribute to the team and you're not really the best at fighting with a roller, this can be a good weapon for that. It does have lifelines for you to fall back on. It's just, in general, can do that. Maybe I can, oh, you're going that way. Hi! Yeah, last second kill. If we win by 0.1%, I get to take credit for it. We might have actually done just that. Wow. I really thought it was. I think the squids on top of the screen were the same size. It does that when it's a close game, so you can't always tell. It looked like we won. I was the lowest contributor, but I feel like I got in, did my job, did what I wanted to show off on Moray Towers, did the thing that I like to do on it. I'm content with that, even if it was a loss. Even if I was the lowest contributor, still. Anyway, I guess that's that for now. How about we go and see a certain little fat cat? Again, I don't know why I'm calling him little. I made this mistake once already, and I learned nothing from it. I'm sure there's people that would say that. Wow, you... Okay, this is a great... Oh my god! That is a brilliant Miiverse post, wow. I was going to say that this guy is a great example of just how great the fashion can be in this game when I was talking about it. Your name's James, but I'm gonna call you with that getup. I'm gonna call you Jesse Inkopolis. I'll go with that. Let's talk to Judd. I got up to smoking at one point, so I will get to show that. Yeah, 400 coins for getting up to smoking. Meow. Try this whenever you're checking out another person's gear. Go to your gamepad gear menu and claw the ability guide button. That is all for now. Next time on Splatoon, we are going to be tackling the first boss fight in single player and seeing just where that gets us. I defied gravity there for a few seconds, and I have it caught on tape. Maybe I'm the alien here. See you guys then.